I realized my mic was muted. Ah, this is off to a great start. Okay. Anyway, again, welcome to my stream. I am participating in the GDEX 2022 Game Jam. I don't have a team yet, but I will be gathering one fairly soon. I won't be able to get to many comments in chat too frequently, or at least I will try my best, but most of me talking, I'll be talking to other people, the rest of the team, stuff like that. But this is kind of I stream this to kind of show my progress and also show you guys how the game jam usually goes from a programmer's perspective. They should be starting soon. I have the stream up. That's what you're seeing in the background here. So they'll be starting soon. I'm going to switch. I need to switch my Discord to the event voice channel. If this
speak.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah,
you should be able
channel.
to talk in the text channel. And Tom's going to take a look at that. So
Okay, so that's kind of a side conversation that doesn't involve me. So I am just going to keep that muted for now because I can't respond because I'm suppressed in there. Oh well. Anyway. In the meantime, let me put this off to the side. I'm currently getting some pre-jam stuff working, like basically downloading latest stable version of Unity. Also getting a GitHub ready and stuff. Oh, did I not? Unless it's just not on here. I guess I missed a year. I have a GDEX 2020 game jam, but I don't have a GDEX 2021 game jam. Huh. Guess I skipped it. Nope, another person just entered chat. Let me check the volume on this. Okay, that's not too bad. I guess I could turn it up just a tiny bit. Maybe not that high. Okay. Cool. Make it go. we'll just call this GDEX 2022. I honestly should probably rename some of these repos to what makes sense. Well, I guess GDEX 2022 does make sense, but oh, more people are hopping in. Okay. Let's add a readme. Let's get a Unity get ignore. Use a license. I don't remember. I may have to look that up if there's a what the licensing guidelines are for this game jam. I'm pretty sure it's mostly like open source, but I need that needs specifics.
All right. Let me know if you guys can hear us. This is Wesley speaking.
I guess we're
with
starting.
GDEX Game Jam. Good to hear and see everybody in the chat channel. We're going to switch over to camera here in a sec, but just to kind of give you guys a little bit of a warm welcome on this Friday the 13th.
Oh, and his audio's gone.
You know, partnered
Wait,
this weekend
if
with
they
Tom.
can't hear us, how will they know that you told them to let us know?
If I get crickets, that's how I know. That's the only way I can know. Yeah, I've got someone. Hollow Breath said that. Yeah, they can hear us. Good. Awesome.
We
Cool. All right, let's go ahead. We're gonna go ahead and switch it over to our visuals. See if that works out. So if everybody can see us, I've got some weird sort of green screening thing on Discord. So this is actually Discord. This is kind of how we do some of our streams. This is something we've been doing for a couple years, but we might change it up a little bit next couple years. But yeah, this is what you might be getting used to throughout the weekend if you're joining us in Discord for communications. So let me do a little bit of introductions. My name is Wesley Adams. I actually work with a local game studio in Columbus, Ohio called Multivarious Games, as well as Tom, which is down there with a little
oh,
dapper hat.
it's
Um,
me.
and we've been working with Multivarious for a long time, and actually been working with the, helping to work with the GDEX Game Expo for this being our 10th year anniversary. And we've been doing the Game Jam for about 3 years, so this is our third year. We're very thrilled to do this every year, and we've been doing this online and having a blast. We've kind of called it, kind of spurred into like, hey, we should do something before the expo, right? A little bit of a jam just to get people excited up to the event. So
Get
that's
everybody
kind of what we
warmed
do.
up before
Bring up
they
the chat.
get everybody warmed up doing new and interesting things before they all go talk to each other at the great summit of GDEX.
So some of you may know about GDEX, some of you don't. The cool thing is you don't necessarily have to know anything about GDEX to be a part of this game jam. So if you're coming in from Itch.io and you're just like, oh, I just wanted to make something cool, like this is your time to shine. Um, so yeah, my background is in design, animation, 3D modeling, 2D design. So that's kind of my background. And then Tom, if you want to talk about yourself, what is your
I'm a
background?
programmer interested in I went to school for history, but I came out with a programming degree and been doing software development and teaching as an adjunct for software development and collaborative kind of teamwork and project management. But largely, just software development mainly and higher level systems design and stuff. So
Yep.
yeah.
So Tom is our tech guru. We'll be actually
I don't want to use guru, but yeah, that's what I'm here for. Yep.
you're more gooey-roo than I am gooey-roo in the technical space. Um, but that's just to say we've got a diverse set of mods and admins throughout the weekend to help you. So that is our job, is to help. If you have any questions at all, you can message us on Discord, which I sent the link in the chat channel on YouTube. So feel free to use that. And my name is Wolf G4M3R, so or you find it as Wesley Adams in there, and then Tom Allenbaugh in the two admins you can talk to. We'll also have some peer reviewers throughout the week and some game developer professionals jumping in to kind of help give you guys some review as you develop your games. And then throughout the week, we'll be helping to moderate things, getting you guys into different teams, which is going to be a big thing tonight, helping you brainstorm things, helping if you get stuck, giving you resources. So the cool thing is you need no game development experience at all. Although we do have a lot of people with game development experience coming in, so our goal is to get you paired up with a mixture of those two groups. And we'll be kind of jamming throughout the whole weekend. We'll be capturing the event. So if you have stuff you want to showcase as you go, we'd love to see it and share it with our communities, and just show all the work that you're taking into this time. And the cool thing is, like, if you want to, you can do a couple days. You can do the whole 9 days. If you stay up for a whole 9 days, that might be a lot of work,
I
but
wouldn't. Yeah, I
you
get
you
some
you
sleep.
could if you really wanted to. Um, but yeah,
We're not gonna have anybody sign any waivers if they overwork themselves. We're trying to keep it casual and
right.
like
Yeah,
keep everybody able to contribute at their own pace and with their real lives and at play at the same time. So
exactly.
we all have our full-time jobs that we're going to be managing this jam through, and we don't expect the jammers to work any harder than we are. So
Yep. Yep. So, to give you a little bit of a synopsis, let me go ahead and I'm going to switch over to our informational news. So this is our GDEX website. I'm going to go ahead and copy that into the chat. So if you're interested in actually joining the expo, it's happening on June 8th through the 12th. It will be in Columbus, Ohio at the Greater Columbus Convention Center. We're actually partnering with Origins Games Fair. It's actually a great event if you're interested in game development. Even game enthusiasts come in to play different games. We have tournaments and whatnot. But we have a ton of
yeah,
different exhibitors, a lot of different features,
a lot of
cosplayers.
cool like indie projects and experimental VR projects and
Yep.
all kinds of cool stuff.
So we'll have a ton of exhibitors and talks as well. They're starting to add up until the event. So keep an eye on that. We've got some tournaments coming up. Some of them are Smash tournaments. There's some other different games that we're actually working on there too. So we're slowly but surely getting all that content in. So definitely take a look-see on that, and learn more about us. Just as well, if you're interested in learning more about this game jam, you can click on the banner at the top here, or you can go to apply, and then there's the GDEX game jam there. This will also be kind of like a nice hub spot, so to speak, to learn more about the game jam. So it's got our itch.io page, it's got our Discord, the two events, which is this kickoff event that you see here, as well as the YouTube event for the closing ceremonies, which is going to be on
Oh, I
Sunday,
see
May
the rules
22nd, which
here.
is the last day. End of day is going to be our closing ceremony. So our goal there is then everybody that can upload their game throughout the day, then at 6 o'clock we're going to play as many games as we can to showcase your work. And then what we're going to do is kind of showcase them around at GDEX during the Game Expo June 8th through the 12th. And then the cool thing is, alongside at the end of the event, you'll be able to actually go in and vote. Let me see if I actually got this. Yep, so you can vote for your own different games that you like. You basically we're going to be
You
allowing.
can vote for your own game if
Right,
if
you can
you
vote
want
for your own
to.
game. Yep. I was kind of trying to not
That's why I
phrase
need
it
to
that
start an
way,
itch.io
but
page.
Yeah, I saw he's got a nice save there.
So, but yeah, I mean, you definitely could. You could vote for your own game. You can vote for other games. But the way that it's going to work is it's going to be under 5 different categories. So on uh, May 23rd, let me just double check just to make sure. The May 23rd through the Thursday the 26th. So that preceding Monday through Thursday in a day, you'll be able to give feedback to other people's submissions, and then judge them based on a 5-star rating system under the categories of functionality, visual design, gameplay, engagement, and representation of theme. And what we'll do is we'll basically pick the top one that you guys all pick for, as well as peer reviewers and judges, game development professionals will be coming in to look at those as well and judge them alongside with you. Those will be where you can go in and judge each other, and we'll pick the top one and share that at the award ceremony at the on location at the GDEX Games Expo. It's usually on the Saturday of, so
Yeah,
that in theory, if it's the same one as it was before, that will be June 10th, which is a lot of fun. And so just kind of wanted to showcase some of the submissions from last year. Last year the theme was calm, so someone made kind of like almost like an Animal Crossing Calmville game. There's Chaos Kitties, about how using calming mechanisms to calm your animals. Um, there's Cal Calm Surge. I never pronounced that correctly. Everybody stay calm. I actually mispronounced it and said clam instead of calm. So everybody thought it was fun to do an Easter egg of clam in there as well. So people had fun with that. So there's a lot of really cool games that kind of came into fruition from here. Someone did a meditative typer. Um, a lot of really cool things coming through. So excited to see what everybody makes this year. And afterwards, you can use Itch.io to share your game and use it as a portfolio piece, right? If you want to say, hey, I made a game,
Mm-hmm.
this is a great way to show that. And then you can also take that, make another version on Itch.io, and make it your own page. If you want to add to it, alter it, and then even sell it if you want to. That's what's great about having Itch.io as our jam page, is you can then take that content and make it
right.
something that people can learn more about and play. So,
Right. The game is yours, and you're just submitting like a snapshot of it that you managed to get done during the jam time. But then you're all completely free to do whatever you want with them at that point.
yep. So definitely, and something I wanted to note too is that a lot of you might be in here, um, and may not be able to use, you know, our Discord channel for communications, right? So maybe you're not interested in using it or whatnot. That's okay. Like, you do not have to use our Discord. We will say that it would be good to use it because that's how you're going to be able to get in contact with us pretty quickly. We'll provide
Fastest,
resources.
yeah. We're
But
just kind of camped out in there all the time, but we'll be checking itch as well. So
right, exactly. So if you have any questions, feel free to email. I'll just put it in here. I've emailed a lot of you that have already registered. But if you want to use our multivarious account, you can email me directly. If you have any questions, please do ask us. That's what we're here for, to help you. Some things, it's a lot to manage, but some things might take a little bit to get into, to help you out. But just know that we're here. We're going to help you. We're going to make sure you have the best time working on your game. So anything we can do, just please do reach out to us, and we'll be with you as soon as possible. So we'll be once we're done with this stream, we'll be going in and showing the theme, and then be going in to help you form teams. So a little bit of what that looks like is probably good to kind of showcase the Discord channel. Um, and let me see if I can show this without showing too much. Yep, that'll work. Cool. So I'm going to switch back over to here. Does everybody see that okay? All right. So right
yeah,
now,
this is only visible on YouTube, right?
this is visible on YouTube, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
For those of you only watching in Discord, just so you know, there's
Yes.
more to see than you are seeing.
Right. Correct. Yes. So, which is fine. That's something else I wanted to note, that this YouTube video is being recorded, and will be available for you to review in the future. So if you have any, questions or thoughts or whatever, you can kind of come back to this as well. Um, but what you'll notice is when you first join, there's a category, and these are categories in Discord, called Jammer Space. So it's basically, think of it like a folder full of different channels, right, over here on the left side. So you'll see two different types of channels. One is a hashtag, which is a text channel. One is a speaker channel, which right now we have our event stage. Some people are joining us in there just to kind of listen in as an alternative to YouTube. It's the same thing, but essentially these are going to be channels that you're going to use similar to what you're going to use in your teams. Okay. So the first thing that we're going to do once we sign off of here today, anybody that is in Itch.io and not on Discord, just email us. We can help you with teams on the side. But we're going to be working all night to make sure that everybody has a team, everybody gets started with their theme ideas and getting some design processes worked out. You'll actually have the next couple of days through your design process. This is what we'll call the prototyping phase, to kind of think about what your game will be about. So that's what we're going to be here to help with. But essentially, think of it as um, Discord as a series of text channels, which you'll use for resources and people that maybe not necessarily want to speak in person, so to speak, like I'm doing here. They can text chat in there, do a quick chat either on their phone or on the computer. And it also put like resources in there. They can put in ideas and pictures and assets, all available for you to use. And then the voice channel is a great way if you just need a quick call, if you want a video, if you just want a hangout space. So if you just kind of want to hang out and talk, you can use that all weekend. And it's a great way to stream what you're working on, right? So if you need to stream, there's an icon down here. If you roll down to the bottom of the screen that says share your screen, and you can share whatever you're working on, whether that's the game engine like Unity, or if you're in Photoshop or something like that, you can share all that content there as well. And multiple people can share at the same time, and depending on what you want to do, you can jump in and out of different streams. Um, so in here, I think the biggest thing to do once you first enter in is to go to this README channel. This has a lot of really good information right off the bat of what you can use. This one in particular gives you a lot of different things. I'm going to put the theme here after the stream today so everybody knows what the theme is. It has our kickoff stream, which you're already hearing right now if you're on YouTube, and then the ending ceremony stream, which is going to be on Sunday. I will actually put the date on there. That is May 22nd. I just realized that wasn't there. But yeah, so we will have that all live there. And then what we'll say is like you can always message us. You can right click and say, hey, I want to, I guess it would be Tom, right? I can call, or I guess better would be just to message him and say, hey, I got a question. Or you can message me. Either one of us are going to be here all weekend. And then
We'll
the big,
message each other, and it'll go bounce back and forth forever.
right,
And
exactly. Yep. So the biggest thing to do is in this message where it says once you jump in the channel, you'll be assigned the 2022 Jammer role to access all the Game Jam channels. Because you will actually notice that some of these will be hidden if you're not doing this. And what you'll do is you'll hit this react symbol. A bot will assign you, and they'll kind of pop up here at the top left, say, hey, you got the new role. It doesn't work the first time. Just click it a couple times until it does. And then you'll see the other channels here. The main one being the Jammer exclusive channel, which will allow you to be able to chat with other Jammers exclusive to that role. And it'll give you the ability to then go through this Jam role assessment channel, which is the next thing that's really important. So in here, it's a similar idea in terms of using emojis to assign yourself roles. And the big thing we're going to be using right off the bat is this information from your skill sets. So a lot of folks, what our goal is when we start forming the teams is to go in and assign people teams to make sure they have at least these three different roles. So one is technical, one is artist, one is producer. So technical can be like programmers, developers, more of a technical grade, so to speak. They can kind of build the framework of a game. Artists can be illustrators, 3D modelers, musicians, sound designers, animators, all those different categories. And then producers is kind of like everybody else. They're brainstormers, game designers, writers. Everybody's a little bit of producers. Some are actually specifically producers. Say if you're a writer or narrator, or like writing for narrations, excuse me, those would be producer roles. So definitely, if you can, you click one of those P, T, or A symbols. That'll be really helpful for us to know how to assign everybody. And you can do more than one for sure. We just need to know at least one of those roles. And then some people might be in the maybe later or the floater category. So the maybe later is any jammer who maybe doesn't have a lot of time during the event, and they may not even be able to start tonight, for example, but they want to be able to help. So what we would do is like let us know that they're going to come in later. Like I know somebody who actually is coming in later tonight that I'm going to help assign them a role later with a team. Um, and just that just lets us know that you're going to be coming in and out. Maybe your time isn't as much as you'd like, so then like someone on a team might be like, okay, cool, like we know that you can come in next Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, so they can plan for that, right? Because that's one of the big things you want to do is plan your time appropriately so that if people are coming in, that you guys can kind of meet and coordinate at the same time, or when you can, just make sure things are checked in at the right time, created at the right time so that you can use your time efficiently, which is still 9 days, so you have a lot of time to kind of play with. And then the floater one are folks who may have like various skill sets or one very particular skill set. I've seen folks who like what they really want to do is just music. Sometimes music isn't like composing isn't always like 100% 9-day game jam resource, so to speak, right? So maybe they're interested in being
Right,
a
or
floater.
it's not gonna like stop the rest of the team from
Right.
building the rest of the game while it's in process, so you can do it kind of on the side in parallel.
Right, exactly. And so I've seen those skill sets like jump between different teams, and what we'll do is it lets us know that you have that ID, and you can just let us know like, hey, I'm gonna be a floater for this, and we basically will give you access to all the different channels, um, and then you can kind of jump in where you need to or you want to. It's all custom, like that's what we're here to kind of help facilitate. And sometimes people just want to help each other out, like maybe they're done with their process and they want to be a floater to help other teams with something else, right? Totally can do that. Because this is a really cool like learning experience. So if you want to just use it as a way to kind of keep driving your skills, um, that's a great way to kind of showcase that.
Oh no, no, move
Um,
this.
so we will get to the theme here in just a sec. I'm going to announce that last. But yeah, that's a good question. Yes. Um, and then the other one is I see some people actually using this already, which is totally cool. There's teams. There's 10 right now. We may or may not need more. We can make them as we need to. And then there's a team solo. So you actually can work by yourself if you want to. Totally fine. I've seen a lot of people do this, and they just kind of want to make their own game alongside other people. What you'll see is once you assign yourself that role, you will then have access to these teams down here. There's a public stream, so that's anybody and everybody can kind of go in there if they just want to kind of hang out. Think of it like, the break room, right? Everybody kind of meets in the break room to kind of chat about how things are going. You can go in there. Also, there's the jammer voice. That's a great way to go into. Um, and then you'll see that there's a team solo. So anybody that's a solo developer, you're all going to be pulled in here as a request that we've had in years past. So like people aren't just working in a silo, they can kind of work in here. But if you want your own like category and text and voice channels, let us know. We can make that for you. We have done that in the past. It's totally easy. So if you're a solo developer and you want your own like private chat and everything, we can totally do that. Just let us know. We can make that. And then you'll notice that there's teams 1 through 10. Um, and then what will happen is if you're assigned these teams, they will be assigned to these ones. So, for example, we've got team 8 has well, technically 3 people. One of those is the bot. So they have 3 people in there. 7 has 1 person in there because it's 2. 2 has 2 people, and then 1 has
Lots
three
of
people.
people too, Wes.
Well, they are, but they're not the team. They're not going to
Okay,
develop a game. But yeah.
not yet.
So someone was asking if we have a team we want to work with, can we do that? Totally, yes. And actually, that's what we'll do first. Is we'll prioritize if you came and you want to be part of a team with other people, we'll pull you guys together first. Okay.
Yeah,
So
we will
that
ask you also to be open to maybe having somebody else jump in and work with you as well. But
right.
if if you really, if you already have a full team and you just want to like be part of the jam, then that's totally fine.
Totally. Yep. So yeah. So if you just say I've got 3 people, 2 people, and that's what I want to play with, and I want to be on team 3 or something like that, we'll make that happen. What we do suggest again is no more than 7 people. You can do more than 7. I've seen people do it, but it does become harder to manage if you do have.
Go start a company.
Right, exactly. Yeah, even that's like, especially starting a company can be
Yeah.
pretty big. Um, but then we also try to say if you can have team members with the skill sets of a technical aspect, an artist aspect, and a designer or producer aspect, right?
Yeah.
So those are the 3 things that we suggest. You can definitely do it however you want to, but that's usually what we found to be um, some of
Yeah,
the
it helps
best.
helps people work, kind of get into things because their roles are already kind of understood, and just we see less butting of heads when we spread the rules out.
Exactly. Yep. 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 So that does teams, and we'll be helping you after. Again, we'll be helping you after your call. What we'll ask everybody to do is we'll be jumping in. Which channel?
Jammer voice.
The Jammer voice channel. Yes. So everybody will be in there, and what we'll start to do is we can actually hand move people over to different channels, and we'll ask everybody that's uh, in Discord to actually jump into the voice channel, um, and then start to introduce each other and start to get to know each other. So especially folks who already have teams set up, which I can see down here, we'll start moving those people over, and then we'll be looking on the back end of everybody's roles. So if you get a chance to get in there, we'll be looking first for people who have these skill sets. So under producer, technical, and artist, um, which role they have, and start pooling them together to make an even balance between each team to make sure they all at least have those. So if you don't care like which team you're on necessarily, but you know you want to do artwork on the game jam, make sure that you put that as artist in here, and that'll let us know that we'll bring you into a team that isn't just all artists, but also has like maybe someone who's technical and producer role as well. And then we'll start divvying that up. But if you come and you say you want to pair up with like a friend of yours, that's fine too. We just need to know that, and we'll make sure to pair it up. And this all can change. I mean, you can come in. I mean, seriously, 9 days. You can come in halfway through the jam, and you say, I want to be on a different team. You just let us know, and we'll make it happen. Like we've definitely done that in the past.
Yeah, if you got any friends who might be interested in a game jam and they're like, "Oh, well, it
Exactly.
already started," like that's okay. Like tell them to come on down and we'll work them in.
Exactly, and that's actually kind of neat too. We've gotten a lot of folks international too, who have different time frames. And I know someone who was asking, hopefully there's someone who's a Europe time. So if you have those, I actually was thinking about making a role for that because we've started to get a lot of international folks too. Actually, some
Like
people came in.
time offset. Yeah, it's just
Yeah. So if you do have those requirements, let us know. We'll try to pair you up with people that have the same time frame. Um, and then just definitely when you start getting into a team, let that be known too that, hey, my operating hours are usually like, for me, it's like something like 5 to 11 p.m., right? 5 p.m. to 11 p.m., which might be, 8 a.m. to, whatever time in your time frame. So that's just something to keep in mind as you're starting to work, because definitely when you're working the best is when you're all together and kind of coordinating
yeah.
things.
Right.
So
So you want to start early off, just like touching base with one another about your schedules and when you might be able to plan a couple meetings in the week. And even if you don't have the most solid plan, just knowing what times you can get together will help you plan the next week out.
yep. So we got someone from Brazil. I know somebody was. Uh, they said Europe somewhere, but I forget. Dominican Republic, I think, was one. So welcome everybody who
Hmm.
is coming in from out of states. That's really cool. Yeah, we had someone from Germany and someone from Paris last year, and Switzerland too, actually.
Wow.
Which they're coming back in this year, which is awesome. Um, but yeah, so let us know about those things, and then another thing that's going to be really useful is this last role, which is are you looking for a particular resource, right? So throughout the jam, you might find out, even tonight, you might find out, hey, our team, based on the game we're making, really needs like an artist or a technical person. What this does is we made some custom icons for looking for a team, so a lot of you are on that right now. Hopefully that will start to become less as we get you on teams, but we realize that during the jam, you might be looking for a team. Say if you went from solo and now you want to jump on a team, or maybe the team wasn't working out like you thought it would, and you want to jump onto another one. That's fine. No hard feelings at all. Just if you set it up the way you want to. If you want to work on a different team, that's okay. Um, but yeah, so essentially that lets us know that you're looking for some other team, and then we'll be going into each channel and saying, hey, do you need someone who has an artistic background, and do you need help with that? And then we'll kind of pull you in there. That's kind of our job. There's one for technical artists, there's one for artists and producers. And what's cool about this is once you get assigned for that, say you're looking for those, let's say you're looking for a team and you've got a technical background. What you can do is you can use the @ sign and say, I'm a programmer. I'm wondering, someone looking for technical, like, hey, I'm a programmer in C sharp, right? Do you need help? And what
You're a
this will
programmer in
do,
C sharp. Yes, you do need. I am a programmer in C sharp. I'm
there
making
you
jokes
go.
about myself. Please do
Hmm.
not take offense, C sharp programmers. I am one of you.
Oh yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, so what you can do is you can add that role, and that'll sing a push notification and a ding to them and say, hey, cool, like, yeah, we need that. Like, let's talk more, and you can private talk to each other and figure out what makes sense and whatnot. So that's to your resource. So, and then we'll be helping too. So like, uh, if you want to specifically like reach out and talk about it, that's what this Jam resource channel is for. If you have resources you want to use, this is a great place to post that. We got Tony who's actually posting some cool free art here, which is really awesome. Um, Someone has a get ignore file from last year that they use for Unity for their repository. Um, we've got examples of last year's entries if you kind of want to see what people made in those time frames. So there's a lot of really good stuff here. But you can also post either in the Jammer public or Jammer exclusive, any of these channels, and just say, hey, I'm looking for an artist, or we're looking for a programmer, and just we keep tabs of all that stuff all the time. You can also direct message Tom or I anytime if you want us to help you specifically, which we're going to do a lot, even without you asking. So don't worry. But that helps us, find you as well. So if you kind of need, some more help in finding people, let us know. We'll help you out, and you can post there. We'll do what we can. Cool. All right.
Yep,
So
we don't
then,
know what we don't know, so you gotta let us know.
yeah, yeah. We're pretty good, but yeah, sometimes things can fall through the cracks. So if you can help us help you, then that's always great too. Um, we also encourage you. We've deleted this channel since last year, but there's a share your work. So if you think there's something cool you want to present, you can also post it in your channels. We're going to be going through different channels and seeing what everybody's working on. And then yeah, if you have something you want to show, like hey, I've made this really cool animation walk cycle, post it in here. We'd love to see it. Maybe we'll post it in our social media on GDEX and let people see what you're working on. So definitely, if you got something you want to share, we'd love to note you and
Yeah, we'll
represent
ask.
your work.
We won't put anything out without asking, but
Right, right,
it's something
yeah.
we will do if you are cool with us doing that.
Yep, exactly. So, but yeah, so I think that's about it for Discord. The other thing is just to keep in mind for those of you who aren't familiar with Discord, there are names over here on the far right side. This is a great way to see who is where. So all your jam reviewers are going to be in this side. So they're going to be coming in and out throughout the weekend. So they're going to be the folks that will be able to help you if you have questions during the review sessions, which we're going to have 3 of them. Again, once in the the prototyping phase, which is Sunday. There's going to be a couple more throughout the week. One in the production phase, which is after the prototype phase, and then the finalized phase, the last before you submit it on that Sunday. We're going to have one more peer review, and that's just basically you will mark off a time and say, hey, they're going to come in like Sunday Eastern Standard Time at 6 p.m. through 11 p.m. or something like that, or for an hour or something. That's your time to get your team together. If you have the time to do so, you don't have to. By no means do you have to do this. But then share your questions in there, and a game developer professional will be there to help review your work and say, hey, cool, like you guys are going the right direction, but have you thought about this? Or, hey, you need help with this programming question or this art question, like let's guide you throughout the process. And then that'll be in the Jammer public channel, or excuse me, the Jammer voice channel. And then from there, if you want to go more specific, you can invite them to your team channel and actually talk to them one-on-one for a little bit, right? So if the conversations are getting pretty deep, you can do that too. That's totally fine. But then it's basically their time for your time, right? So if you can go in and ask some cool questions, I've seen a lot of people like really pivot their project based on some feedback and make some really cool stuff. So if you're interested in that, you can use it. If you're not, then you don't have to use it. Um,
I think
but yeah,
probably every great game was the way it was because of feedback during the process. There's very few games that wound up being exactly what they set out to be and were also like just super successful. So
exactly. Yep, yep. So we've got all that information. Let's try to see if there's anything else over here. Oh, one last thing I wanted to show, and then I'll start to wrap it up. We have in each of these channels, we have a bot that's helping us out this year. That is a pinning bot. You might see this little push pinned messages in different channels, which is really useful if you've got, say, like 100 messages and you want to reference a message 50 messages back, right? It can get overwhelming to scroll up all that way. So what we've been doing is, let me see if I've got the README. Yeah, the README, for example, is highlighted. That means it's pinned. And what you can do is you can click the pin message and you can see more information about that. So what we have is this little tutorial down here at the very last. And what it does is you can add the pin emoji, and that will pin the message automatically. And then if you want to unpin it, let us know. We have to remove that just because it's a edit text permission. But if you want to add it, that's fine. That's going to help you pin that message and allow you to store resources. So, for example, you have credentials to your repository or something, or you have your game design doc that you really want that's at the very beginning of your project. You want to pin that for everybody to see. They can then go up here and go directly to that message where they need to. So they can actually jump to that, and that's that message. Um, yep. So cool. All right, so that's it for Discord. If you have any questions about Discord, I might have skimmed some things. I'm not sure. I know I talked a lot about it, but please let us know. I've been doing it. I've been using Discord. Tom's been using Discord for a long time, and I know
how
it can
can
be
anyone have questions about a software named after the element of chaos? I mean,
exactly.
it's very straightforward.
Oh, and something else I forgot. If you're interested in Discord, they just added a new feature at the top right corner. You have a chat channel now. So you can hit that little chat channel and you can talk as you need to, which is really cool. So um, obviously you can use the text channels as well to store information, but if I'm talking and I'm like, dude, shut up, like I just need to talk and you don't want to forget something, just type down here a quick message while I'm talking, and then that'll help move the conversations too. So just another thing to use as you need to. So that's another cool thing. So they're adding stuff all the time. I love Discord. So oh yep, and threads are cool too. Yep. So if you want to reply to someone, you got some threads. So let me see if I'm missing anything before I go through. Cool. Thanks for from. Oh, someone's from Ireland. Awesome. Eastern Standard Time plus 5 hours. Yes, that sounds about right. Uh, can always learn another language. Yes. Yep. So if you want to learn another programming language, this is a great time to do that. This is a good learning experience. Be
Mm-hmm.
surprised what you can do in a couple days. Jam resources questions doesn't show up on my end, and I got myself the jammer role. Is it a glitch with the bot, or do I need a public role? Well, let me check Mayo Chan with you. Um, jam questions. Okay. Well, let me.
I'm seeing the Jammer rule on Mayo on
Okay.
Discord, the
Well,
2022 Jammer.
I don't see that in. Oh, okay. So maybe it's hidden. and I'll have to double check the permissions on that. So yeah, so the what they're asking about is this resource. Was it Jammer resources?
Oh, let
Yeah,
me
so
see.
I might need to add permissions to that. So thanks for checking that out, Mayo and Kenneth. I'm gonna go ahead and add that too. So we'll make sure to get that rolling.
Oh
Okay,
yeah. Oh yeah. I'm not seeing jammers specifically in that channel, so let me
okay,
get that right now.
yep. So we'll fix that. All right. Let me see if there's anything else. I talked about judging, talked about itch.io, talked about Discord. So I think we're ready. Let's go ahead and let me make sure I'm not missing anything from my channels. Oh, just sorry. One last thing. This will be real quick, and then we'll talk about the theme. Um, in that channel that you guys don't have access to,
In
there
just a
is
second.
a resource that we're sharing on the Global Game Jam site. This has a lot of tools if you're new to game development. Is really useful, especially this Google Doc Jammer resources has all kinds of resources for you to use
Okay.
throughout the event. So if you're trying to figure out a game engine or the tools or assets or what have you, this page, Google page, is updated all the time. So definitely take a look at that if you're looking for specific resources, and then we can also help to curate and help find you resources if you're looking for something specific.
2022 jammers should now be able to see the resources tab.
Okay, cool. All right. I think that's all I have. If there's more, we'll let you guys know, but that should be pretty much what you need to know. So we'll take tonight to work on getting you guys together in teams, and getting you start talking about your design concepts, and getting you rocking and rolling. So without further ado, I think we're ready. You guys ready for the theme?
Are you ready
Um,
for a drum roll for the theme?
I feel like I'm Dora the Explorer. Are you ready? And is this pause for an hour? Okay, here we go.
I don't know if my drum roll's audible unless I'm talking while I'm doing it. So you can keep talking while I'm doing it so that it picks up on the mic.
And here
ASMR
we
Yeti
go.
mic. ASMR Yeti mic
yes.
taps.
It is
Oh
erase.
no. Yay.
All right, so this year is a race. Actually, the theme for GDEX game or for the GDEX show and the Origins show is art. So we want to do something art. So this could be something fun where you can go in and think
Anti-art.
about like, okay, do you want to start with a lot of stuff and erase things down? Do you want to like create a navigation path to kind of create an erased path that you can move through? Is it
You want to
that,
make a Super Mario Sunshine clone?
all right, yeah.
By by all
Hmm.
means. Good luck.
You can
That'd
you
be an
can
interesting
you can
idea.
make a whole game, and at the end you can erase it all. No, I don't think that would be a good
Yeah.
idea. So yes, do what you want to with erase, however you want to interpret it. If you want it to be an
Wes,
acronym,
we had so many better examples than what let's let me see. Yeah, Erase Terrain, Power Washing Simulator, Viscera Cleanup Detail are examples of games out there that do
oh right,
that.
yeah, yeah, like yeah, Power Wash Simulator was a great example. Like you're erasing all the dirt and grime from the environment. So yes, so however you want to use that, you can use it as much or as little as possible. Just note that that will be
You can
part of the
yeah,
incorporation of the theme as part, not a
you can
weighted
invert
part of
it,
the
you can
judging process.
subvert it.
What's that?
You can invert it, you can subvert it,
Yes,
you can play around it, but yeah, it's gotta obviously have influenced your design decisions and your game, in some way, in some direction, even if it's at a 90-degree angle or something.
exactly. Yep. So cool. So that's what we have for this year. Um, I think what we're going to go ahead and do is we don't need to last the whole hour, so we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here. Thanks for everybody for jumping in tonight. We're very excited about this. Again, we're here to help, so anything we can do to help you out. After this call, we invite you to go into the Discord channel. and start working on that. If you are on Itch.io, you can start right now. And start working on the mechanics of your game, brainstorming what you want to do. If you need help, again, our email's in the chat, as well as the Discord channel if you want to message us directly. So please let us know how to help you, and we will be here as much as we can. So
We're
um,
begging to help you.
we're
We're
begging.
on our knees. We are begging you.
All right. Well, without further ado, I think that's going to wrap us up today. So let's get started. We'll see you guys in the chat, and then if you guys have any questions, we're going to go into the Jammer public channel, the voice channel, and start conversations and breaking you all up into teams. So we'll see you then. Thanks everybody for coming out. We appreciate everybody's help.
Bye bye.
All right. I want to close that for now. Bring back my previous music. There we go. Before we switch over, I'm going to quickly take a very short break and go to use the restroom. I will be right back, and then once I get back, probably switch over to the channel they're going in and discuss on team and stuff like that. So be right back. All right, and we're back. I'm gonna unmute.
Yeah, I was gonna
here we
say
go.
I'm able to talk, but
No
I
permission
think
to talk or chat. Huh?
There we go.
I mean, I
Let me
can
just-
talk, but I have noise in the background, so I'm muting my mic.
I think
Well,
we're cheating.
I just gave jammers explicit speak permissions, so I assume that was the problem.
That's so weird. Like, was it their main?
People should be able to talk now if they in this channel if they unmute themselves and choose to.
Oh, what's up?
Hello. See, it works.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So if you're sorry
I
about that,
back.
it
Does
looks like
work.
it muted everybody. So now, if you unmute yourself, you should be able to talk.
Yeah, I had to leave first though. You can't do it immediately.
Oh, really?
But by
Okay.
default, when
Yeah,
you come
I
into
think
the
you
room,
leave the channel and come back, then it's fine. You have to disconnect first and then come back in.
Yeah, when you joined,
that's
I think that you didn't have permission when you joined, and now that you have permission,
That was my bad.
you join
think
and
it-
you can do it.
It probably checks the moment you join whether you have permission or something.
That
like
makes
Yeah.
sense.
So,
It's really
sometimes
expensive to push those
perm-
permission updates.
the permission of channels change. Like, they stay the same until you leave and come back. So sometimes you can kind of like sneak stuff in if things were changed on the fly. So that must have been how that
we don't
works.
have
so-
permission to type inside the chat as well if that's what you desire.
Is that the Jam Republic chat or the?
No, the Jammer voice chat.
I cannot
Oh.
chat there, no.
Okay, well let's change that. That's a
Oh.
new one because that's I think a couple days old that they changed all that.
Yeah, I just noticed it yesterday. I didn't even know it was a thing.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. Let me see. Jam. Video priority speaker.
You're always the priority speaker in my book, Wes.
I mean, technically, where would that be?
It's just under the regular permissions.
Is it?
It's because you don't have the jam admin as a I think as a role. Oh well. Yeah, admins.
Oh,
But yeah, you get priority speaker role, and then you have to have push to talk. Yeah, you need a keybind for it. It's a push to talk keybind
or the text chat?
for the voice chat. There's no.
No, they're talking about they can't chat in the Jammer voice.
Oh, let me.
The new
That's
thing.
probably something I can fix.
Hello?
That's probably.
Okay.
how-
All right. Yep.
Okay.
I've got you, Mayo.
Yeah, let's see. There it is. All right. They'll
Okay.
be able to now.
Yeah. See if you guys can talk in the.
Oh, I don't have to leave.
Yeah, you
I
can.
can talk. Yeah, you
No,
don't
you
have to
can't.
leave for this one.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm
There
sure
we go.
I'm sure the audio permission is different because audio
working
is
now?
a heavier data stream. But the little chat room, I just missed that.
All right. Cool. Now, now we can talk a bit more. Let me know if you guys are still having any issues. You should be able to use the Jam Republic channel. Let's see. We've got some new people coming in. I'm just gonna give them Jammer role permissions. That way, if they need to jump in here real quick, we can get them onboarded. Oops, that was my bad. They already had it. They're good. Yeah, you guys quick. Did it work? Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we want to do is I'm going to look in the role assignments and see who we already have. I can say Mayo and Moog Sentry. You guys are in Team 1, is that correct?
Yeah.
Alright, so let's go to Team 1 and add you in there. So we've got. Is your friend in here too? Is he or she online? Mayo. Is it Moog?
I don't have any friends here.
Moog Sentry. Moog Sentry has artistic skill.
Yeah, we were talking about it. I told them last night that I was in Team 1.
Uh-huh.
I guess it's. They also said they're going to be super busy this weekend, so.
Okay, that's fine. If you guys still want to be part of the team, you can. I mean, it'd probably just be easiest to like, hey, let's pair you together, and if you need more people, all the better. I mean, we have like about 50 jammers, so I'm sure we can add some more padding. So it looks like he or she's got like a artistic role, and then you kind of have a lot of roles.
Yeah.
Mayo, right? So what we'll probably want is just to add a couple more folks into that. So let me just put this into Team 1 for now.
What I could really use most is somebody who could be a dedicated programmer. Because I use ClickTeam Fusion, which isn't really popular, but I do have art skills. And Moog Sentry can do music, so I got an art guy and a music guy for sure.
Okay. So, yeah, let's take a look. Who in here doesn't have a team and wants to... We'll just kind of go down the list from Team 1 down. Who in here, in the voice channel, isn't part of a team already and is a technical artist, would like to be with some artists and some musicians?
I would like to do that, yeah.
Mr. Invis?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. So, I'll add you. And pardon me, I'm just like adding these on the fly.
I can do that. Team 1?
Team 1, yes.
Yep, done.
So
yeah, you just talk, I'll click. I'm the click man.
So let's start off with that. Like I said, we want to get at least 3 people, no more than 7. Although again, if you want to do more than 7, that's fine. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is, Tom, can you?
Yeah.
What I'd like for us to do once we get teams assigned is we want to move them to the channel, into the voice channel, and or text. That's fine. If you want to just talk in text, that's okay. But then like have you guys start talking, and then start brainstorming some concepts that you want to do. And what we'll do is once we get down the list, we'll come back around and see if we have other people that might want to join, like say Team 1, right? Is that okay for you guys?
Well, and we'll kind of hop down and engage the teams.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that way, once we move people out of this channel, we know who is left and we can start to mark people off.
Yep.
So if that's okay, we're going to move Mayo and Mr. Invis and have you guys start to introduce each other. Mayo, do you know when your other teammate Moog Sentry might be coming in at some point in this jam? Do you say maybe this sometime this weekend or later?
They just said they will be out of town this weekend, but we'll have plenty of time to make music for the jam.
Okay. So we might get you another person too, just so you guys aren't just, maybe get you a 4th person. So we'll keep that in mind. But yeah, for right now, if you two just want to get to know each other, talk about some ideas, and then also talk about your schedules too, right?
There you go. Oh no.
We'll move you guys over.
Scroll Discord. Why won't you scroll? Yuck.
So let me double check then on Team 2. We have. Okay. We have Tashaki and Katakari in Team 2. So they are. Whoops, did not mean to click on that. Double check. They're I know one's an artist. The other one is technical and producer. So we got technical and producer, and they're coming in later today. So what I might do is we'll just kind of leave. Is the other person's in here? I don't know if they're online. They don't look like they're online. So what we might have to do is maybe leave that channel as is, and then go to 3. Oh wait, no, they're online. Oh, maybe. Know if you would like to talk about another teammate. Oh, I remember. They said that they needed a technical artist, right? Or technical person. So let me double check. They're looking for, yeah, they're looking for an artist and a technical person. So is there anybody that's not on a team interested in being on a team of an artist and a programmer? If you remember the Chaos Kitties game that we did on the stream, one of the teammates on there that worked on that team. But yeah, if you're interested, is there someone who is either an artist or technical person that may want to be on team 2?
Yellow Prince is technical and looking for a team, it looks like.
Yeah, especially if there's another technical person, because I'm newer at it.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, let's do that. And we'll assign you to team 2 for now.
Team 2 is assigned.
Yeah, let me see. I know that the one person's supposed to be coming in at 8:30. What is your time frame, Yellow Prince? Like for tonight?
That should probably be all right. Yeah.
That should be okay. All right. And again, like there's 9 days worth, so you could even start like coming up with different concepts. I don't know if they've started thinking about certain things, but I know they said they weren't able to get off work until a little bit later. But outside of that, I know they've been pretty good at like being able to kind of work through a lot of ideas and create a lot of really cool artwork. And like you said, there's another technical person, so they can kind of start making some prototype stuff even tonight or tomorrow. Cool. All right, so that'll take care of team 2.
Yeah.
And again, we might come back around and add more people. So let's go to team 3 and see.
He's just got Rabbit with no specified role.
Okay. Oh, 3?
Team 3.
Oh, how did they get in there?
I don't know, Wes. Could have been you. Could have been. Well, do we have a self-selector thing?
Well, no, it's nobody.
Team 7's got one person, a producer role, who's looking for a team.
Okay.
I don't know how they got. Team 8 has 3 people.
Okay.
Team 9 is empty. Team 10 is empty. So, yeah, just a few scattering. So Team 3 has someone in it already. Rabbit. Actually, interesting because they don't have the 2022 Jammer role. They do have 2021 Jam alumni.
Oh, maybe they.
GDEX. Maybe they were left over from last. We just missed them.
Yeah, let's.
Yeah, I'm gonna undo their Team 3 role.
I mean, if they want in, it's just one person. We'll add them into another thing later. But if they don't have the Jammer role, we don't even know if they're going to be.
Team 3 is empty now. Team 3 is empty now.
All right, so let's see. Who here doesn't have a team and is a technical role? So programmer, technical artist, what have you, that is looking for like nobody. They're not looking for anybody in particular, but is looking for a team to work with and or a technical background.
I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna take us out of. I'm just gonna move the teams that have people in them kind of to the bottom of the list. That way, the empty teams are closer to us.
Sure. Oh, and that's the other thing too, is if you want to change your team name later on, you're more than welcome to. They don't have to be team number 9 or whatever.
Yeah.
So you can definitely do that.
Because that way it'll be easy for us to drag into team 3 or whatever.
Let me see.
There we go.
Legend. Maybe a magic rabbit. Oh. Producer, okay.
Okay. Thanks Kay, for the DM. I'm gonna clear the team 7. We got. Yeah, let me clear that. There.
Okay, so we've got. Let me just kind of go through the list in here. So Griffin, you're a producer and looking for a team. Okay. Joey, you are an artist looking for a team. Kai, you're a producer looking for a team. Okay. Legendary, producer looking for a team. Metal head, artist looking for a team. Okay. And then Mr. 1898. Got a bit of a producer and an art role, right? Yeah. And Scott, you're just hanging out, right? Shield, you're hanging out.
That's right, just hanging out.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm hanging
Spencer,
out.
artist. What's that?
Oh yeah, I'm just hanging out.
Okay.
I'm jamming on Jamio this
Oh,
week.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Oh, okay. Well, we got Sam. Were you wanting to be on a team? Or are you working solo this year?
I will probably join a team. I do not have the artistic skills to do solo, unless I
Okay.
use pre-made assets.
Yeah, and that's totally fine too.
That's what
so
I did
let's
for the
get-
previous game jam.
Yeah,
You like Griffin, Joey, and Sam together?
Griffin, Joey, and Sam.
That's art, producer, and technical. They're all looking for a team.
Sure. Yeah, that'll work.
That worked.
Is that okay with you guys? So, let me see. Metalhead 2D artist.
Yeah, make sure everybody else will be
Poser.
like.
Yep, Griffin says okay.
Yep.
Joey
Okay.
is typing. Joey says yep. Okay, let's do it then. And again, we might come back and add some more people to your guys' group, so don't be surprised if we're like, hey.
All right, they're rolled up. Team 3 is good to go. I'll go ahead and move you into your channel.
Yeah, so we'll knock out this chat channel just because it's the easiest to start with, and then we'll start talking with people individually. So get together, introduce each other, talk about.
Hello?
I can hear you.
I hear you.
We have Griffin and Joey.
Kevin.
Oh, Kevin.
So, erase.
Mm-hmm. Is this your guys' first game jam, or have you done others?
This is my second game jam.
Okay.
And that's why this time I was like, I'm not going to put myself in as a technical person just because last time I didn't do any technical stuff. Well, I won't say that. I didn't do any programming stuff. So,
Okay. I'm like all technical, although I have a bit of, I guess, design knowledge, so I can throw some of that in there, but I can't really. I'm big on the technical side.
cool. Yeah, I just don't know the tools, right? And I've messed around with once like 3 or 4 years ago during the jam, but I didn't do any development, just, testing and running.
Okay.
Pretty bad. But if we do it in Java, I'm there.
Oof.
I'm not saying that that's something.
I don't even know if there is a game engine for Java. I think usually Java is used to make your own engine.
Right, or if you're doing something like an Android, which is Java-esque. But yeah, even
yeah.
then, you're probably going to want to use an engine like Unity or something else because it gives you so many tools that then you don't have to build yourself.
Right. Well, you technically don't have to use Java for Android because there's a lot of, as you said, there's a lot of different tools out there to where you could program it in different languages and it'll still work on Java.
Yep. So yeah, race. Other than that, I am also I apparently have some skill with writing stories because I have written one, published it.
Okay.
So. But then also the game we did last time didn't have a story. I mean, how much are you going to do of a story in a 48-hour game? You know.
It's actually, it's possible. I mean, you could even just have a simple story that's just background.
Yep. Joey, are you with us? Because if you are, you're muted.
I see he put something in the Team 3 chat.
Oh, did he? Oh, okay. I was still sitting at the... I just realized I was still in the chat for the Jammer chat. So I will say that my availability is going to be dependent on the weather next week. If we get a lot of rain, I'm more likely to be around and able to do some stuff.
Okay, I'm guessing your day job involves being outside.
Yeah, so, because I'm an idiot.
I will, as far as my schedule, I'm fairly flexible. I'm a contract developer and I kind of work from home, so I can bend over backwards if need be.
So what sort of tools are you familiar with? Because that's probably going to determine what kind of thing we're building on.
Mostly Unity.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, mostly Unity. With, I mean, C#. I don't think they even have a different a second language you could do for Unity anymore. I think they used to have JavaScript, but I think that's disappeared. As far as size of games, well, for game jams, I've done small little like mini games, but I've also, I think it was 2021's Global Game Jam. I did a multiplayer game.
Dang.
Yeah, that was interesting. We finished it too.
Cool.
So, wow. I mean, if we're up for doing a multiplayer game, I'd be up for doing a multiplayer game.
Well, and it was if we were going multiplayer, we'd want to tread some different terrain than, say, Splatoon.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't know. You could almost make a Splatoon clone. It's just it's a different one. Instead of paint, it's water. Yeah, for me it's mainly Unity with like C#. I've dabbled a little bit with Unreal, which maybe someday.
Cool.
Usually I've been sticking with Unity because it's a bit more on the flexible side.
Cool. That's cool, Joey.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, we're all going to help with figuring out what we're going to do.
Okay, so it looks like Joey mainly does music.
Yep.
but he'll help with the brainstorming. And apparently, he's fairly new to game dev. But I mean, yeah, that's cool.
But that's so huge to the fields, anyway. So we were fortunate last on the game jam I was on that we had a guy doing music, and it was just it really made a massive difference.
The last game jam I was part of, we had 3 programmers. That's
wow.
It. Yeah, we used pre-made assets. It still turned out great. I'm trying to remember what I don't remember what the theme was, but it had something to do with like it was like polar opposites, like light and dark or something like that. Well, we did
Oh,
we
the global
did,
was it? Wait, were you the Global Game Jam back earlier this year?
Yeah.
Were you in the Columbus group or?
Yes.
The COG one?
Yeah.
Which game were you doing?
Sarah's Shadow, I think it was called.
Oh, the one where you were switching between the worlds. Yeah. That was freaking.
Yeah.
Whew. That idea was just killer. Oh my god, and you guys did a great job with it too. I was on the team. I don't remember what we called it. The one with the shield, where you were playing as the shield.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that one was pretty cool.
That was fun. Yeah, although like 95% of the both the art and the programming was all the dude that was doing our programming. I did some art, but A, some of it we didn't actually get to use, and B, I am slow as trying to do art because I don't have a lot of Blender experience either. That's most of my Blender experience.
Yeah, I've been trying to get a little bit of art skill too, so I've been taking like Blender courses here and there.
Oh, cool.
But no, I'm mostly a programmer.
I think if they gave us an artist as well, that would be really amazing. And also that would help define things. Like if their specialty is 2D art, then that I think could help us define, what kind of game we're doing, because we want to make use of what we've got.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. We're gonna need an artist. Otherwise, we'll just have to do pre-made assets again.
Yeah, and that's okay. That's not a big deal. But
yeah, it's fine. I have many Unity asset store assets that just getting from like Humble Bundle and stuff. So probably find something.
Cool.
Yeah, Sarah's Shadow was interesting. I think those were using like a Unity sample scene with assets.
Really? Wow.
Yep. I think it was the one for like I think it was for URP, the URP one of the render pipeline ones. It was just one of the sample scenes. Like, oh, this actually looks pretty cool.
Yeah. It was really nice.
Mm-hmm. The funny part is the flipping mechanic. It's literally just we have the scene that is in the light world with how we did it. It was just we took that and we just it's duplicated and flipped and then hidden, and then when you switch, all it does is move the character down to the upside down world and flip her.
Yep.
And then makes it visible. That's all it is.
Mm-hmm. Hey, but if you have a core thing like that, having it be simple that's a gift, because that's limits the amount of things that can go wrong with something that's right at the heart of what you're trying to do.
Mm-hmm. The tricky part was getting the placement when she would flip.
Hello, Team 3. I got a question.
Hello.
Are you cool if we throw in another artist and producer in here?
Absolutely.
We would like 8 artists. We don't have any artists, I don't think.
Nice.
Other
Well,
than-
we got you covered. We got an artist and a producer. We're still like sorting through people. This may not be the last, but probably will be the last for your team unless we find a.
Joey mainly deals with music and brainstorming, so that's going to be his specialty.
Sweet. Well, we just nabbed a couple more people. I think one of them jumped in already.
Yes.
Yeah, and then we have Dawson is also on your team now. So thank you. We'll talk to you again soon.
All right, thank you. Hello.
All right.
Hello.
So, are you Dawson?
No.
Oh, okay.
Is somebody
Sorry,
else.
I misunderstood. I
No, you're also fine. I also got assigned to Team 3 like him.
Great, excellent.
There's Dawson.
Hey guys.
Hello.
I guess we should go back around through the introductions again.
Yeah, bit of a late joiner, so that's on me.
That's cool. I also got here late. I got in like 6:50 or whatever when I finally got in.
Okay.
I am a software developer, but not so much a game software developer. And outside of that, I'm an author. So if we do happen to do story stuff, I can. That's in my area of expertise. And I've played video games for a lot of years, so of a wide variety. That's what I've got. Next.
I'll just go. Oh, sorry. You go ahead.
Okay. I guess you can call me Sam, or you can call me Rora or Rora Zoro. I guess it doesn't really matter all that much. I've lost track of how many game jams I'm part of, but I think this is like my 6th one or something. So, and I'm mainly programmer. So I will probably be doing a good bit of the heavy lifting as far as the programming part. But anyone's welcome to jump in.
I guess I'll go next.
Yeah.
So, you can just call me Legend. I am a student game designer. This is going to be my first game jam that wasn't a mandatory part of school. What the hell was that?
Look at some feedback.
Alright. Anyways. So I'm currently like I said, this is going to be my first game jam that isn't just like a mandatory part of a school assignment. Going to be completely honest, both times I attended a game jam as a part of school, I got paired with teams that had no idea what they were doing, and it was not fun. So hopefully this will go better. But yeah, in terms of my skills, I'm still pretty new at using the game engine. And art, I'm still pretty new on. I'm trying my best to learn. I'm currently learning Blender and Godot, but still pretty new. So I'm pretty much at the moment at a writer producer kind of skill set. I don't know if I'm making any sense here. I'm rambling like hell, but that's just how I am when I'm anxious. So
Perfectly fine.
And there is no grade.
There's no grade, yeah.
Yeah, no, this is purely like just a fun thing.
It's a fun learning experience.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking of that, my name is Dawson Turska. You can call me Dawson Turska. Just Dawson also works. I'm primarily a 2D artist. I typically do character design, concept art stuff. I'm sort of like I'm pretty much fresh out of college from an associate's degree. I'm more of like a when it comes to my like art style, I typically lean towards more like a painterly kind of style, but not. I'm also not good with words, as you might be able to tell. But basically, I've never actually worked in game jams before. I've sort of just kind of worked on my own, just banging out drawings. But I am familiar with working in Unity and Unreal to a very basic capacity. But programming through blueprints or like Unity's equivalent of the blueprints engine, which is called Playmaker. But I'm sort of just like, I also do 3D modeling, digital sculpting stuff, but it's that's also sort of at a basic level. For everybody's reference, I'll just drop I'll drop a link to my portfolio just to give an idea of like what I typically do, because I feel like probably can't really do it justice, like explaining it. But it should give an idea of the kind of stuff that you could expect from me as if I didn't mention it, as an artist.
Cool.
Well, a painterly style is perfect for erasing.
It's true.
As far as the theme.
And I guess Joey, if Joey hasn't said anything yet in the voice chat, but I'm sure he's listening, he or she. I assume he, but I don't know. Anyways, before you came in the chat, in the text chat, Joey had written, I mainly just do music, if that's okay, though I can try and help brainstorm. Fairly new to game dev, but I've been in 2 other jams before this one. So they've got some experience and they've got some music, that's huge. And art, which we actually, before you guys came in here, we were like, yes, we would like an artist.
That works out then.
Yep. It sounds like most of us here are fairly new to, I guess, either game jams or Unity in general. If Unity is the route we want to go, I mean, I guess it's up to if that's what everyone wants.
I mean, in general, although until we figure out what we're doing, that kind of, we'll just try and make sure that it's something that we can do. That we can throw out lots of ideas too.
I know Legan mentioned Godot, and I mean that's also a possibility if need be.
Right, like you said yourself that you're going to be kind of like the main coder here from the sounds of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess like what are you most comfortable with? Because I think that's important.
I'm comfortable with Unity, but I can learn. I'm pretty confident in my learning skills too, and I've been doing game dev for a bit, even though it's not actually my day job. So I'm willing to be the, I guess, foundation for you guys to learn. If basically just be the glue that trying to helps pull the game together. But I mean, if you guys want me to be our primary coder, then that's fine. I will do whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just go ahead and say, I mean, like, I know, like I said, like Unity's visual language, or not Unity. Well, yeah, that, but Unity and Unreal's visual language. Otherwise, I can't code for dick. So,
yeah, fair enough. In fact, I've never really touched the visual coding mechanics in it, and that'd be interesting to experiment with. I think I have a copy of Playmaker that I can include. Oh, of course, I think Unity has it's not Playmaker, it's like, I don't remember, they kind of incorporated their own one in as well. Okay. I don't remember what it's called.
Yeah, we don't need to worry about that kind of stuff until we actually like hash out a concept, because all of the actual like backbone of making it work can wait until we actually know like what we need to make.
Right.
That's fair. Like, I feel like I should might as well bring this up now. I haven't used Unity in years, and last time I used it was during a game jam, and I had to spend like 3-4 days just trying to get it to run in the first place. So.
I mean, it's fairly stable. I know I like using Unity because it's fairly flexible, and it also has it to where you can build your game towards multiple platforms. So especially for game jams, I like building it for not only PC but for WebGL, so that like for portfolios and stuff, people can host it and put it on their portfolio site or something like that. Or itch, where you can just play it from directly on itch's site.
So we need ideas.
So, as soon as the theme was revealed, I ended up making like a whiteboard, I guess you could call it. Basically just a place to put all up to just write stuff down, if that makes sense. So let me share that with you. And as soon as the theme was revealed, I just kind of jotted down whatever idea popped into my head as quickly as I got it, so.
Cool.
Something related to pencils. Yeah, that was kind of one of the first things that came to mind. That reminded me of, I don't remember what game it was, but it's a game where it's like it's just lines, and it's like physics where you got a character that just skis, I think.
Oh, that
Line Rider, I think it was.
Line Rider, yeah. That's kind of what I was thinking of, just right off the top of my head. But I don't know where the erasing part would, come in. I guess either like erasing obstacles in your path or something like that.
The zombie idea, that's nuts.
Right, like, none of this is mutually exclusive. Like I said, I just wrote all this down as soon as that popped in my head.
No, that's great.
I think I'll just spitball here too.
That would be interesting.
Just like maybe it's like game itself is like malware. Not like that it actually is, but like you know, like
one of those like cursed program kind of deals.
Yeah.
Or a game where you have to get to the end before the game erases itself.
Yeah, like the art assets like slowly like get deleted over time. They get replaced with like placeholder. It's like a runner kind of thing.
That'd be interesting.
I would say with that sort of idea, we would start very close to the end of the game and work our way backward. That's an interesting idea. I think that should be, you should write that up there as a separate thing from just erase the game, because that's like erasing parts of the game and ending up with placeholder stuff. I mean, Yeah, because every engine's got placeholder, assets. It's sourced with orange walls and stuff like that.
Like, I'm kind of at the moment. I'm just happy if I get to be a part of something like weird and creepy and morbid, because that is exactly the kind of person that I am. I just really want to work on something weird and on just creepy. Because I think you can do a lot with that, with like the theme of a race.
So it would be some kind of runner. You'd have to run to get to the end before the game is completely erased. Is that the route we want? Would it be like a parkour game, like just running and parkour? Would it be like first person?
It's definitely one of the ones we could consider. Being first person is interesting because that could also be like maybe there's like also obstacles in your way that you could also erase.
Mm-hmm.
It's like maybe you have like an actual just kneaded rubber eraser in your hand and you just like hit something to break it like in front of you.
I don't know why, but I'm immediately reminded of Cluster Truck when you were talking about that. Basically, it's a first-person kind of runner game where the only safe space is on the entire level are a bunch of trucks that endlessly drive forward. Obstacles be damned. So
I've seen this one. Yeah.
We might be able to do something like that. Or you might be able to you have to erase obstacles in a way, because otherwise your only safe space is going to crash right into it.
Well, I mean, yeah, there's some sort of moving thing that, whether the world's moving towards the thing or the thing moving towards that you are removing those obstacles so that it doesn't get damaged. That would certainly. Sort of like Raft, but you're trying to get rid of stuff instead of just scoop it up.
Yeah.
And I was thinking that if we were, going down to a simpler and simpler thing, on the one hand, I'm thinking of that sort of has a vibe of most of the Never-Ending Story, where the world just keeps on just disappearing. Although obviously we'd want to have a different sort of end game for it, and what do you call it? Crisis concept behind it. And part of the question becomes: is the erasing something? Is the erasing something that the bad is doing? Is the erasing something that the player is doing? Or is the player good or bad? Or maybe both types of erasing are happening?
Maybe it's whatever their tool is that they can use to erase is also causing the erasing that's making them have to run.
The more you erase, the more problems you're causing for yourself. The more you're doing gives power to the bad guy. Or
The more you erase,
whatever.
the more unstable the world is.
Yeah.
Or more unstable the game is.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, basically you get not necessarily glitches, but you get platforms suddenly changing, that kind of stuff.
Oh no, glitches is great.
Well, we could definitely artistically just make it we're just gonna fuck up some polygons, let's hit it, and then just bounce them like static.
I mean, I like the idea of there being some uncertainty.
Or at the very least to like prevent the player from just abusing their power. Like
Right,
they gotta think about like it specifically because like if they use it too much, they're just gonna cause more problems. So
It's like a bit of a, it's like a, well, you're not only dealing with the race against time, but like resource management to getting to the end.
yeah, I actually like this idea.
I think
where your resource is so like what I'm sort of seeing is like the idea is that the simple choice is erase shit, but the more if you are erasing too much stuff too quickly, that you are gonna cause yourself problems down the road. You'll fail later because you were using that resource too much early.
Of course, it's also like if you're like a god at the game, you could also just be like, "I'm going to erase everything and still make it," and then you're just like, "Damn, this guy's cool."
Or I'm not gonna erase anything, and we'll still make it, or some minimal amount. Yeah, those become the challenges that people can either give themselves or that we can, would be achievement sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I kind of like the idea of there being some moral choices, so that sometimes, the erasing is something that, some people might feel bad about. And there should be challenges for people who are playing very, trying to be good, and challenges for people that are playing trying to be bad, if you want to put that sort of element into it. Because some people are just going to be like, what? Fluffy bunnies? Erase! And so they should be challenged as well. It shouldn't just be like, that's easy mode.
Right, I see where you're coming from. I'm just wondering, like, could we get away with just, like, a pure gameplay kind of thing? It's just, like, where my thought process is going.
I know. At the very least, we're going to want to talk about the idea of developing like a minimum viable product, and for a start, that might be just developing the gameplay and getting that working. And then once we have that at a stable pace, and we have like, say, like 3-4 days left or something, we can be like, okay, great. Now we can be like, let's talk about moral choices.
Right. That's true. Yeah. If we get the first is, can we make it work? And then that's when you have a story around it and, the complexity to it.
Yeah.
The reason for people to do it and to be engaged with it. Beyond, obviously the mechanic itself will hopefully be engaging as well.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I think that coming up with the, a story kind of part of it, that generally is going to take a little bit of time and thought.
Yeah.
Unless somebody gets some massive brainwork.
It's something we could definitely think about in the process of making our like gameplay, is thinking about like how to piece it all together, and we could just like stew on it and then be like, okay, now that it's all set, we just now we're like, how do we implement it? Outrun the void.
Just something like that.
Yeah. Good start.
That actually, Joey, that's kind of like one of the other things that's a very natural thing for games is start where you have a small amount of power and then you build up. So maybe at the beginning you can only erase small things. Joey's typing an interesting idea. That would be a simple, small thing to be erasing when you're not powerful. And actually, if the player becomes more powerful as they go, that's that build up, right? Where the challenges go up and their abilities go up. And
yeah,
that's a classic.
Right, so just to kind of like, I guess like kind of recap kind of what we've been talking about and like kind of see if I understand where we're going. So I think from what it sounds like, and I like the idea, is basically like some kind of like race against the clock kind of deal, where like you're either it's like an endless runner deal, or like you're trying to achieve some objective in X amount of time, race against the clock. And like your path, what you can do is that you can erase obstacles in your path in order to like achieve faster routes. But every time you do, there's like a consequence of some time, like maybe more enemies pop up, or maybe stuff gets more unstable, something like that.
Yeah, that's something I it's kind of a sort of a theme we had in the game that I was doing in the last Game Jam, was the idea that you can letting the player choose their difficulty level. You know, if they want more of a challenge, they can kick things up and speed things up. And if they want to be slow and careful, then they can do that as well. We can allow for both types of gameplay, I think, without a huge amount of... If that's part of our design from the beginning, I think that's something that is doable. I mean, obviously, the challenges are going to get harder whether or not the player becomes more powerful or not.
It also might be funny to be like, oh yeah, if you something that might happen is like, oh yeah, like you're erasing obstacles in front of you and they're becoming like essentially just like cubes with no like collision boxes applied to them, so they're just boxes you can walk through. But like as the game gets like worse and worse along, those platforms in front, there's like platforms in front of you to jump across maybe, and like sometimes some of them will get turned into those cubes as well, so you have to like carefully look in front of you and be like, oh god, am I about to step on a bad platform?
Now, one thing that is sort of a big thing is, although it can change, is do we want to, at least at the start, have just the environment, the opposition? Certainly that simplifies things. It's just the environment.
Yeah.
I think so. Plus, I think it might be more fun, you know? Just like, it doesn't more just certain.
It's more puzzly at that point, if it's the environment.
Yeah.
So part of the erase, for some reason, I keep coming back to thinking about, I guess it technically doesn't erase, but it is like a race against time. In games like Fortnite and PUBG, you have the ever enclosing zone.
Yep.
Running away from something like that, like say you're trying to get to like the center of like a maze or something before that, like the world is completely erased as that zone just closes up. That wouldn't be too bad. And I mentioned about like I've done a multiplayer game for a Game Jam. We technically could make that competitive.
I say let's just stick with single player for now, and let's just put that on the if we have time shelf. I think might be the best idea for now.
No, unfortunately, with multiplayer functionality, it's something like that. If you're going to do multiplayer, you got to plan to do it at the beginning.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Otherwise, it's a pain to implement it afterwards.
Yeah, definitely.
Fair enough. I didn't know.
I mean, that is an interesting aspect to whether there's going to be opponents that are AI or opponents that are people. That's a whole other aspect to the puzzle.
I mean, technically, you could play it solo too, with how the gameplay is. So you could technically just play it by yourself, just race against, because you're racing against the other players and the ever collapsing world.
Who wrote that a race against time? That's a nifty idea.
That was me. I'm just a big pun guy, so like.
That's really good. Alright, so hard tangent, but like as soon as like the speaker guy mentioned last year's theme and how he misspoke column as clam, my mind immediately went to the garbage pun, keep clam and nobody explodes. And it's just a game whose entire premise is like micro games, and they're all based off of terrible puns.
That's funny.
Hard tangent, I know, but anyway, I really like the name A Race Against Time.
It feels really like on the nose, but I think that also kind of works in our favor.
Yeah, it does. That works super well.
Kind of reminds me of a game I did for another game jam. The theme was called, I think the theme was Take Care. And what we did was it was like a Babylon themed, like you had a garden keeper who was taking care of the Babylon gardens, and he was trying to fend off weeds that were growing towards these pillars. It was basically a tower defense. So a race against time. It was kind of along those lines. I mean, we could do a tower defense kind of thing, or it's just defend against some encroaching thing that's erasing. I don't know, or you have to erase something that's growing towards you.
I kind of like what we got going so far with the race against time kind of deal. I kind of like where this is going.
So basically getting from point A to point B before the world completely just collapses, or you die or whatever.
It also makes sense for us to, like, on a small scale, build levels based on this concept, because it's like we basically just have to build a point A to point B, and we just build maybe in the time span of a game jam, it's like 4 or 5 levels. We just basically conk together a bunch of basic assets and then assemble levels using those.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think the simplicity might help us. Might be better, in focusing more on just solid gameplay mechanics, and keeping the art simple and stylized. I think might help.
Okay.
Yeah. So I kind of just wrote down what I got. So, what I think the gameplay might be like. So.
Yeah.
Alright, anything else we can think of at the moment? We should probably go for schedules actually, but
that's
what were you gonna bring up?
We can come back to it later. Yeah, let's talk about the schedules and what kind of time people have.
So I'm pretty free this week. I don't have anything going on, except Monday where I need to attend a funeral. So otherwise, I'm pretty free.
I know I'm fairly flexible. Well, just anytime and all, because my day job is work from home, so I'm here.
I am currently. I actually have a month off from doing anything anyways. So I'm fully ready to just embrace the Sigma grind set and just do a bunch of stuff.
Nice.
Technically, we would have the time for a multiplayer game.
I mean, I can't code.
I mean, as I said, I've done a simple multiplayer game before. It wouldn't take me long to get the basis down.
I mean, if you think you can do it,
Oh yeah.
And go for it. Just keep in mind that I think you're going to be like the only programmer or like the main programmer here. So
I mean, the last time I did a multiplayer game for a game jam, it was for I think it was a 48-hour one, and I was the only programmer.
I mean, if you feel confident enough, then yeah, go for it.
I think you're the best position to judge the difficulty level of your ability to make it happen. So, if you, because I can see how it will add interest to the game.
Yeah, because with the race against time, making it like multiplayer and competitive, and even not multiplayer, we could still, if we make the assets like simple and all that stuff, we could also do. I mean, you could do different levels to where they're small enough for single player or big enough for multiplayer. But I mean, either way, like single player, you could do the bigger ones too.
If we end up doing like a multiplayer part to it, then what we would need to do is generate like instead of doing like smaller single player levels, what we probably need to think about is like bigger, like wider and longer levels, so that there's like room for players to traverse, and like this enough that we can still force competition of being like, hey, like maybe you can erase a platform beneath somebody or something, but not so much that it's like because we can't do like a instance level scenario in the same way we probably could single player, because it's with multiplayer it's probably more about like whoever gets there first.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I was thinking about that. If we did it like competitive, we could have I think we were talking about like removing obstacles and stuff like that. We technically could have it to where players can have different ways to hinder each other, putting obstacles in their path, or as you're trying to run towards the end.
My mind went is like, if you just want to be an ass, you can just delete everything and just make it hell for everyone.
Oh, sort of like what is it, the chicken pig, whatever one where like
Ultimate Cheat.
Oh yeah,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Where everybody gets to add stuff, but then sometimes they're screwing everybody by what they're doing. Yeah.
Oh, that's an idea. If we were gonna make it multiplayer, we could make it async.
Oh, in terms of each person goes.
You could have a. You could practically have. No, you could probably have a. You could have a dungeon master. Putting obstacles in the path.
Oh, somebody's actually playing as the bad guy, because there's a whole series of board games like that where, like there's one that's like a Lord of the Rings thing where one person's playing Sauron, and everything that the players do, like when they use power, that gives points to the Sauron, who gets to then do bigger stuff, pulling from his own deck of bad stuff to do to the players.
Yeah. And actually, that reminds me, you guys have probably heard of Gmod. Have you heard that there's like a game mode in there to where it's like a gauntlet to where you have one person that's picked who's like behind
Death Run?
Yes. Where it's like one guy behind like in a room with a bunch of switches, and he can watch the other players go, and he tries to time the trigger to drop a bunch of them into a pit or all these different things.
How would that tie in with like the erase mechanic though, is what I'm just wondering.
Yeah, it would probably kind of take us away from that, I'm worried.
Well,
yeah,
if that's what they're doing is erasing things, or adding things that the players are erasing, or erasing things that the players are adding. But I will say this, one of the things... Hold on a second.
Although if you think about it, it'll be a little bit... I think it'll be a little bit more difficult for the one player who's not running it. Because technically, like, it's a free-for-all. It's just because all the players would be against each other. Well, I guess Death Run kind of was like that too, but my thought was all the players would have come from different spots and tried to get to the center, and it would be hard for the one guy who's trying to like put down traps and stop them and all to manage that, because he has to go keep an eye on all the players and they're coming from different directions. Where in Death Run, I think all players are coming from one location. But
and also
I guess
they can what do you call it? Identity V has a mechanic where that's or whatchamacallit, Dead by Daylight, where in that case the one team has to work together, and the other team is can be hurting individuals but trying to stop all of them eventually. I think one of the things I'm thinking about is that we can be starting from the mindset of we're going to do multiplayer, but in terms of getting the initial mechanics working, we can make levels that are specifically designed for one person, because even if we get that working and then we move on to doing actual multiplayer stuff, those are still going to be useful as tutorials even at that point. Once we cross that bridge and get to, okay, this is good, let's go on to the rest. Well, we'll still have that.
Yeah, the possibility also exists that we could like have a single player mode and then like build that and be like the thing we make sure like we polish, and then we're like, okay, great, we've got time, let's make that multiplayer happen. Because I think the multiplayer is a great idea. I also I know it would be very tricky.
Yeah, like multiplayer I think would work best for like if we're still going with like the race against time thing. Yeah, I think multiplayer would work well in terms of like a race setting. Like you compete against your friend to see who can get the fastest time.
Like a speed run.
Yes, exactly.
That could also just be like we implement like a scoreboard system. We like then versus like doing a whole competitive mode.
We need to have the erase mechanic.
I do also like the idea of like being able to do like a, whoever gets their first wins, and then like running alongside each other and erasing people's platforms and stuff. That is like a really cool idea, I think. Of like just trying to like, yeah, I don't know, I'm spitballing here.
Yep. I mean, hey, that Fall Guys has made a lot of fun out of just racing people.
That's fair.
Alright, anything else? Or do we feel like right about like what we've got so far? Like what the idea that we're gonna go with?
I mean, I think we need to get a little more specific about what kind of erasing we want to at least start with. What are the things that we want to do, and what are the things that we want to do first? Like, what is that minimum viable product?
Right. I think the minimum viable product is building our we don't have to like make the assets. We can just build using like basic like cubes and stuff. We just need to build some basic levels, and then like make sure that it's make sure that we have something that is like considered not like difficult, but like make sure we have like a game, and then we can start being like, okay, what's like how do we modify that with the erase mechanic? So,
yeah, and we want to find out if it's fun.
Yeah, start with like the runner side of it, and then start implementing the actual like player input erasing of it.
I mean, something that I can do real quick is like just crank out just like a super quick design document, kind of going over what some mechanics might look like. That's.
So, does everybody see the message in chat?
Yeah.
From Wesley?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I would complain.
Sam, what do you think?
I mean, having another technical skill set wouldn't be bad.
I'm cool with it.
We all cool with it?
Yeah.
Yeah. You like let her rip?
Although I do have a feeling we're now getting to the part where we have multiple technical people here and not as much as far as the art side.
Don't worry. I'll be able to. I should be able to build some 3D asset like platform stuff, and I think I'll be okay. Like, not to. I don't want to like sound like boastful. I should be able to manage building 3D assets. I haven't rigged before, but I think I can learn that on the fly if nobody else has.
Okay.
So
I haven't
I'll
rigged, but I can set up animations in Unity fairly well.
Hey, I mean, like, honestly, that'd probably be better than just for the sake of time.
Yeah, because I mean, we could literally just use like Mixamo animations, and they can be fairly standard.
Yeah, true.
Which I guess that like, are we doing? Have we confirmed that we're doing first person, or I'm guessing since you mentioned like models, we are doing 3D.
Yeah.
I think 3D first person. At the very least, that's where I was coming from. I don't know about the rest of you guys.
Yeah,
that's
First person. I'm almost thinking third person might be better. It depends on what we're adding. Because if we're having it to where they're running away from some erasing, like the world's erasing kind of field or something like that, we'd want them to be able to like easily turn around and see it, or be able to look behind them as it's coming towards them, and yet still be able to go.
But there's ways for us to still handle being like the player actually knowing, like, whether or not they're Crab's Creek, which is to say, like, it doesn't necessarily have to be we can definitely incorporate like a visibility factor into it of being like, hey, world's gone, but we could also be like, hey, there's like a loud there's like a dull roar coming your way, and it's getting louder.
That's true. We could have audio cues. That actually might be a good way to go about it.
I mean, how tied do we have to be to first person or third person until we, get into it? Is that something we have to decide right up front?
True.
Or is that
I mean,
we can show?
We should it's probably something we should decide sooner than later for sure.
First person might work.
Yeah, I worry about well, I mean, like, not that a third person platform's never worked, because like, there's like, there's so many out there that have, obviously, but if you're also talking about potentially controlling a tool to like erase platforms and other obstacles in front of you, and that might work better in first person.
Yeah, like I was thinking of like an erasure gun that basically like you point and click, and whatever you're pointing at gets erased.
Which is just like it's like a crossbow that just has like a rubber eraser that you just shoot at something.
That is amazing. That is amazing. Or at the very least, has like a rubber eraser details on it.
It's like a pencil. It's actually just a crossbow, but it's just a backwards pencil on it that you shoot.
That is amazing.
Well, and there can be multiple tools that do different things and have different effects.
Yeah,
that you're going to use in different. Because, like, if I have an eraser bow, that's something I'm going to be using at a distance. But if I need to erase something up close and personal, the bows may not be the right choice for that situation.
Yeah, because like maybe there's like a wind up to it or something like that, where it's like, or you have to reload, so it's like you can't always use it.
And maybe that takes you into first person, even if there is a third person. I mean, if you're aiming a bow, I was thinking actually, if you're aiming stuff, you either need to be doing it first person, or you need to have a visual indicator in the world to show like where it's going to hit, that kind of.
Yeah. So. I know. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was like, if we're keeping like with like the whole speed thing and like go fast, then I feel like first person might work a bit better. Like it might be a bit more seamless, you know? If that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because like first person, it's you.
I must say, I'm kind of surprised.
Is it possible that one player is third person and the other is first person? I don't know how to implement that kind of stuff. I was just curious.
Oh, cool.
Ooh, Coder, you love to see it.
Okay, cool. Another code. As far as like first person, third, I guess it kind of depends, because I know for if we do the multiplayer, we will, even if we're first person, we will need a model.
Yep.
Because you need to be able to see the other players.
Right, like to me at the very least, first person seemed like a bit more of a natural fit, and I don't know, like.
Yeah, I think for the gameplay, I think first person fits our like end goal a bit better than third. Not that I'm not open to working in third person. Like we only know, like for all we know, we could test it, and then if we're like this isn't really working, we could try it in third person too.
Right. And like he says, I mean, we can. Well, he was, when we get to multiplayer at that point, then we would want it.
I mean, as far as making,
but we don't. If we go first person, then we don't have to worry as much about the player model at that point, because in first person with single player, you don't have to see yourself.
Yeah, I mean, frankly, we may not even have to like our rigging and like actual modeling of our base character would actually like probably be slim to nothing if we just did it like first person too, because all we'd have to do is like, if we're really trying to be like cool guys, is like model arms and hands.
I mean, the modeling aesthetic could be something simple too, because it sounds like with this erase theme, I keep imagining with this runner that it's like the style would be like a drawn style, like it's 3D but drawn. Yeah, a stick figure,
wow.
or one of the just. But either way, it's it could literally just. You could probably just use one of the some kind of like white mannequin model or something like that, and make it like a little bit artistic, and that's about it.
You might even be able to pull off like a pencil effect using like a shader or something.
Is that something? Yeah, I was just saying, is that something we could do? Because that would be.
I mean, I'm sure someone out there has probably done something like that.
Yeah. I've never tried that, but it sounds like something we could definitely manage.
Yeah. So
I mean, we essentially have to be like, we just basically make like, instead of having to do any like super cool like high sculpt arms, we just basically make like 2 cylinders and then just like overlay that base shader onto it, and then kind of just make the actual stick figure invisible, so it's just the pencil marks.
There's a classic of looking drawn.
I think actually, like artistically, like going for like a pencil like drawn look for our like art style also would actually just be a really cool look.
It'd be very striking.
Yeah.
And it would visually differentiate us from most other games out there.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
I just don't know. Is that something that's doable? Because that's something that's gonna have a big impact on,
There is a shader.
Like, yeah, like I was about to say, there's probably some kind of shader to pull it off, because shaders are really freaking cool.
Cell shading.
It's just like a matter of figuring out how.
Cell shading could be one of the options for essentially, basically, like we make like more or less like white models, and then overlay a black cell shading onto it to get that.
Just like a super thick cell shading.
Yeah.
That could work.
Example picture from the shader I found.
Oh, I think that could work.
And it looks like it will work with any kind of model. So technically, you could just use Unity's default like testing model, put that shader on it, and look freaking amazing.
Now here's a question: can you tint the shader? You probably.
Oh, definitely.
Probably can.
All we have to do is like just do a count, like these shaders are probably, well, at least that pencil sketch style is probably done on like unless it's like unless it's like it's pretty much essentially a texture. It's probably just like a bunch of black marks on top of like a clean white model. So all we would have to do is just color the model.
Mm-hmm.
Right, because like we need some way to distinguish like hazards from the environment, erasable objects from non-erasable objects. We need some way to like distinguish objects from another.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
We could
And
have
just color, yeah. Color would be well for people who can see
we
color.
could have a clean pencil style for like stuff that's safe, but then have stuff that can be erased to remove obstacles, or hazards be something like smudged.
Yeah, I have
or
no
vice
idea how to do
versa.
that.
Or vice versa, yeah. If it's a little modification of the shader so that it has a different visual appearance, that immediately tells the player this is something that I can affect. Yeah, that's great.
I mean, it could be as simple as just like killing the opacity of the object a bit, and then just basically changing the texture so it's like a middle tone gray. Or like, yeah, because I mean, I've never messed with shaders to the extent of like trying to make it look smudged, but I think it's definitely doable. I just have no understanding of how that works.
Oh wow! I think I found a whole site that's a tutorial on how to do it.
Oh shit!
link that shit in chat, please.
That's a hotbed.
And they even start off with a clean, just straight up white model. So yeah, technically you could just.
Oh, fuck yeah, boys! I'm gonna save this for later use.
That's really sick.
Nice. Okay, yeah, we can so do this.
Mm-hmm. And then like over top of this, like these pencil sketch effects that we put onto like all the objects, I would totally be down to also just like go and take like try to do like a colored pencil kind of like shriekiness for the textures. So it's like this is overlaid, like these like tonal art maps, these pencil stroke things are also like overlaid on top of actual like colors for objects if we want to make it look like an environment, and then when it gets erased those colors go away, but like the shader changes or something. But dude, this is like this website's gold.
It's better than gold. It's diamonds.
Okay.
The code for this is on GitHub. If you use
Oh,
it in
so
a real
they even
project,
have it on GitHub.
It does say that there's some projects, issues that it could have, but the effect as presented here is likely not going to make your art team very happy. I think you'd likely run into artists wanting to author custom TAMs with different types of strokes and maps for each option to control which type of stroke is used where. So, I'm definitely down to try this.
Yeah.
Worst comes to worst, we can just kind of like we can also just do a lot of this heavy lifting stuff through like actual just texture work. But I don't know if that's only if this doesn't work.
Right.
That we can play around. I think that's only one site that I've found that people put the shader code up for that kind of shader.
Yeah.
There's many others that we could look through. So we can find something.
Mm-hmm.
So is that what it's going to be? Is we're going to do like the player is basically racing away from whatever like the world
some kind of like
or...
race against the clock from the sound of it.
Okay. Is it just going to be a clock and that's it? Or is like the world collapsing behind them? Or
I can see it being like a physical calamity behind them. And like, we give them a head start, essentially the player. But if they take too long by like lingering around, then, the calamity catches up and that's just like how it goes.
Right. The one thing is the calamity just is it impersonal or is it focused on them? I mean, we talked about the idea that the more you erase, that the more something bad happens. Maybe is that accelerating things for everybody, or is that accelerating things for the person doing the erasing, or maybe both? I don't know.
So here's where my mind was. So obviously the calamity I think would be cool if it was just like just everything falling, like everything crumbling behind you, and it's just a white void behind you, and that's what you're running from. And what I was wondering, like, there's kind of two ways we can take the erasing. One is that every time you erase something, the void gets faster, and that's obviously one way. But another way is that if you erase every time you erase something, or after you erase enough things, like you hit a counter, then you spawn like just this white blob, just this white amorphous blob that chases after you and can go through walls, and that you can't erase, that you now have to deal with. Basically, it just spawns like a ghost that chases you, that can chase you anywhere, and that's, if you delete too much, you have to deal with now.
So 3D Pac-Man?
Kind of.
One thing I was
That's
sort of
one way of
picturing,
thinking of it.
and I'm not sure if it would work or not, but just an idea that like if there were colors in the world, that the things you're erasing, that when you erase them, the colors get sucked up into, here's a silly idea, but it gets sucked up into a big eraser, and that's what's coming behind you. So like it's big strokes of a big, one of those big erasers coming behind you across, sweeping across, wiping a swath of everything behind you.
I think
and
what I'm
the
hearing
more
is
you erase, the faster it gets to you.
We're getting. What I'm hearing is, I think I could be wrong, but are you suggesting we essentially get like the thing chasing us is like basically just like a giant eraser, just like streaking along the map?
Well, I don't want it there all the time because I don't want it there all the time.
Cool visual is the thing.
But
that
art
whiteness,
character running away from its creator.
So it's like that seems like a really funny way to just be like, man, get me the heck out of here. It's just like,
well, what is the escape for a an artist's creation trying to escape the eraser?
That is a great question.
Printer.
The printer.
Oh no.
Permanent ink, so he doesn't get erased.
Oh.
Oh, a Sharpie.
Get into an inkwell. Jump into the inkwell, and then you're inked.
Oh, that's an
Instead of being a
idea.
pencil.
That are like
You
you
guys-
collecting ink.
Have you guys ever
It's
heard
like-
of the Sega CD game called Wild Woody?
Yeah. Yes.
You know what?
What's it
I
called?
love Wild Woody.
Wild Woody. It's about a pencil that can draw and erase enemies.
Yeah.
It's
Huh.
yeah,
It's not good.
it's
but-
bad. It's really, but it's
Judging
super
from his
cheesy.
judging from like the Google Images, it looks bad.
It's yeah.
It looks like Nightmare
bought that
Fuel at the
game.
time. So
the mascot
I bought
looks like
that
he would
game on
say
a
mean
whim, and I
things.
was like, "This is terrible."
Yeah.
But it's concept of erasing things be kind of fun.
Yeah, the idea we kind of have right now is like basically like we're just like it's kind of like a runner kind of thing where it's like you're basically going from point A to point B of a map, and you're just like essentially platforming and jumping, and like another idea being like there's obstacles in the way that you have like a tool that you could use to erase that obstacle,
Okay.
but it also makes the game harder itself.
Oh,
So
okay.
and again, this is all spitballing, but the idea of like literally calling it a race against time with like the
God.
we're building it off of a pun. Is
Yeah.
basically.
I mean, that's the lifeblood of game developers are puns. I mean, I don't think there's much else left in development.
Yeah. Yeah, like I brought it before. As soon as like the whole like, as soon as it was brought up, like last year's theme was misspoken as clam instead of calm.
Yeah.
My mind immediately went to keep clam and nobody explodes. And explode is spelled like is an egg pun. And it's basically just a collection of microgames where they're all based around terrible puns.
I mean, that's just our natural state of mind. That's it. It's like, what language do you know? C#, JavaScript, and puns.
yeah, puns are the only language I could code in.
I like the concept of destroying obstacles that makes it more challenging. Like, because a lot of times, like we were thinking about the concept of erase and it being like helpful, which it is, but not in the sense of it like also have to think about where and how to erase, because depending on where you do that, it can cause issues with like maybe you need to think about the order to which you need to erase. Like maybe you said it was it a top-down or side-scroll platformer?
We're tentatively thinking of like a first-person platformer.
Okay. Yeah, so maybe there's different areas that you need to move to, but you have to think about which ones to go to first. Because I think about like Katamari, right, is almost an eraser-like concept where you have to pick up items and it takes items out of the chaos that is the world of just random items. But sometimes you have to think about which places to go to first, otherwise you can't collect all the items. So I like that concept of like thinking about the order to which you need to destroy things or remove them, because it can give you a better advantage or make it more challenging. I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, like that's why I kind of like the idea of like when you erase stuff, it spawns in enemies, because then there's more like interplay instead of just like, oh, you have less time effectively.
Like maybe that's their hiding spots, or they transform in a way to create different types of obstacles, enemies. Be kind of cool.
I mean, I like, maybe the answer is to have both the impersonal enemy behind you that's pushing you forward, and personal enemies that are affected by your actions. You know, the more you do to avoid one enemy, if you do that brute force, you're going to end up dealing with a different kind of enemy because you're using your power.
Yeah. And that's something I would think about too, is what power combats what ability. Because that's where I could see like creating a kind of like a flow chart diagram of like, okay, maybe certain game design mechanics have, you know, abilities or what we would almost call as currency, and then you'd almost have to think, okay, like maybe there's an obstacle, like your main ability now is you can jump pretty high, but maybe there's an obstacle that prevents you from jumping, like sticky glue or something like that. Like maybe you erase a barrel and then there's sticky glue that you can't jump anymore, or something slows you down. So I can see that as kind of like these abstract concepts that you can put down on paper or put in a flow chart diagram and start picking those things out, and seeing how they can kind of combat each other. It's almost like I think about like Portal, especially Portal 2, where they had the different portal goo.
Yeah.
Some of it made you bounce, some of it made you go fast. That kind of concept is kind of cool too. So maybe different types of erasing can kind of change your environments. You said it was first person?
That's what we're thinking.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like that. So it might be, is it like 3D or still 2D? Like a
3D.
3D.
Okay. Sweet. Awesome. Well, I'm not gonna let you take over, or let me take over the conversation, but it sounds really cool. So keep going at it, and then if you need any help, Tom and I will be around. I'm actually gonna take my pets out since they've been waiting on me, but I'll have my phone on me if you guys need anything.
That's good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Talk to you later.
There is one thing I was thinking about, and it's not something I don't know if we have to answer it right away or not. But if we go with the idea of an artist's drawing trying to escape to the ink or whatever outcome they're looking for, and that doesn't even have to be one, actually. But if we look at that idea, then that could affect what the world looks like, or at least what we start with, because there's certainly, whatever an artist can draw can be pretty broad, but that's going to have an effect on what kind of worlds we make, I would think, and the vibe of them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it does. I just I don't know how to offer input to that, if that makes any sense.
Kind of vague, yeah.
No, it's not so much vague, it's just that I'm like dense. It's like regarding the vibe, it sounds like it's kind of like a bit, it's like comedic but also a little scary, in the sense that there's like, it's like, the entire concept itself is silly, but there's still a little bit of like panic to it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is stepping back from it. It's silly, but for the character in that moment, the stakes are life or death.
Basically, the player is a character sketch trying to go from being from a sketch to an actual finished character.
Yeah. Oh my god,
So
the
he doesn't
concept
get-
is just going from like pencil to line art.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he doesn't get erased, and he actually gets finished.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, me too. So
We could also incorporate platforms that are like impossible to erase and have those be like the cel shaded line art, where it's like these are very clearly like line art ink paint, like platforms, so you can't like get rid of them with your tool.
Oh. Right, because like I was thinking like, yeah, you should only be able to erase certain things because then that's just more flexible, you know. There should definitely be like some limits and like some distinction to certain things, you know.
Yeah.
So that could be one way.
I think we got something really cool here.
Yeah, I think so too. So
What kind of different levels are we thinking of? I keep running through my mind a maze, but
I think we could just go for like kind of generic-y platformer levels, I feel. In terms of like layouts.
Yeah, just like Legan was saying, it's like build a bunch of basic platformer levels for starters, and then if we have time, then we can be like, want to make some cool shit? I know I do, and then just be like,
yeah,
or some like
yeah,
like,
it's more. It's not what kind of levels do we want to make. It's what kind of level do we want to make first as our ability to test this out. I think there's obviously there is a platformer element, so there's what kind of movement we want to give to the character, whether it's just the standard things, jump, run, or if there's others we can find, climb. That's another one, obviously. And what is again minimum viable? What do we need to just do a first pass through and make something that runs and that we can build on?
I would say that our minimum viable product would be thinking is completely aside from an arts asset standpoint. We just need to have playable levels, a fully not like it doesn't necessarily has to be fully fleshed out, but like finished enough movement system. Maybe the basics of a erasing system, and like the repercussions of that just being like. I think that's essentially the bare bones of what we need. Anything superfluous would be like, like programming enemies to pursue us, the art assets again. Not that it's superfluous, but it's like that like the first things first is we need to make sure the game works before we go and make it look pretty.
Yeah.
Right. As I said, I mentioned about the multiplayer thing, and if we it's going to be difficult putting it in halfway or later in it. So if that's something we want, we'd have to see about putting it in early. But
it's true. Well, since we're going to have this other person working technically too, what we could have is we start with having everybody work collaboratively on making the base concept, the prototype. And then taking that prototype and then have like this is against spitballing, but like maybe like one person's working on the multiplayer and then like the other's working on the single player.
Or at least on like movement or things like that. Yeah.
We could set up like a Trello board or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah. I know I do have a GitHub repo set up for GDEX or for this game jam already, and I know GitHub also has their project that they have, which is basically a Trello board built into GitHub, so that might be easier to use.
Okay, so we can just use that. Yeah.
I was thinking that would be easier to use since it's all in one place.
Yeah, might as well. So it's getting kind of late for me, and I'm getting kind of tired. So I think we might want to like wrap up a bit and just kind of figure out like next time.
Yeah.
So something that I could do real quick is probably like just grind out a quick little like game design documents, going over certain mechanics and whatnots, and just like see how that stacks up.
Over the course of tonight, I'll also mock out. I'll just make some like I said, I do like concept as like my main thing, so I would totally be happy to bang out some basic like this is what platforms could look like, this is what like maybe our tools would look like, just to start like getting the train rolling on that like visually what that might look like.
Yeah, I think that will work well. Just like spend some time in between like our next meeting, just getting some concepts down into more like solidified form, and then we can work off of that.
Also, we over the course of the next, do we want to call it like maybe meet tomorrow then?
That's what I was kind of planning for.
Yeah. So, like obviously we'll just be like anybody who doesn't have anything specific they want to bang out for like next meeting, just kind of think about like maybe technical stuff of like, okay, like what engine should we use, or like level ideas if you have time. Just be like, hey, like maybe like or make like how Wesley was saying, like maybe thinking about some of those interactions where it's like you could erase a barrel but then it creates like slick on the ground,
right?
Or just things like that. Might be food for thought. That aside though, we should also probably try to figure out where like time zones of everybody, just so we can like line up that meeting and have everybody be like able to work meet and have time to still like work efficiently.
Oh, that's true. I didn't even think about that as being a factor. Who here is not in the Eastern time zone in the United States?
Are we all Eastern?
I'm Eastern, so
I'm pretty sure I'm Eastern. Ohio's Eastern, right?
Yeah.
Oh God, you're one of us.
Okay.
You're an Ohioan. I'm so sorry.
Oh,
Hey,
Joey's Eastern Philly. So we're all Eastern. Perfect.
Yeah. Well, I live in Ohio as well. I'm just dogging on my own. So that sounds good then. So we could just be like we don't have to be like 8 p.m. Eastern. We could just be like 8 p.m. But like we probably would want to shoot earlier just for everybody's sake.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned about engine. Are we thinking about Godot, or I guess that's also going to govern on what we can do, because like the shader, I'm pretty sure. I mean, if we wanted to use that shader, it'd probably have to be Unity.
Yep.
Yeah.
That sort of does drive things, doesn't it?
It does. It determines a lot for us. I know. I know somebody said they were having problems with Unity on their computer. I know I'm most familiar with Unity, but I have some experience with Unreal. I know Unreal has a movement engine like built into it, which we might be able to exploit a bit.
It also has multiplayer built into it as well.
That's correct. Yeah.
I guess that's an idea. I know that would be new for me. I mean, I do know because Unreal has its blueprint system, plus it also I mean, it does, I think, C++.
Yeah, I think it's C++, because I think it's Unity that uses C#, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I do know C++. I haven't used it very often compared to C#, but it's something.
I mean, so in terms of our programmer comfort alone, then C#, maybe Unity makes the most sense, not only from your programming standpoint, but also that if we want to get that shader to try to make it work.
Sam, did you when you did the previous multiplayer thing, was that in Unity as well?
Yes, that was in Unity using something called Mirror for the multiplayer part.
I mean, it may be you know best. I think all of us have the best ability to make the call on whether that's going to be what is going to work for you.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the more unknowns we can take out, the better we're going to be. So
the multiplayer part should be a piece of cake, or at least for me. I mean, it's just a simple. It's just gonna be a simple first-person runner.
Right. My feel is that going with Unity is probably better, just because that's what you're familiar with. Unless you want to go if you want to push into Unreal, then
I'm actually looking up to see if, because the one unknown I have with Unreal is I guess that shader, if there's a shader that's like that for Unreal.
Oh. I wonder if there is something like that. I know if there isn't, then I'm all for Unity. I don't want to push you out of your comfort zone trying to do stuff that's already kind of tricky. The more we can do to lessen your load in terms of having to pick up stuff is probably best.
Yeah, we want to put you to work on things that make our game cooler, not just things that get our game running in the first place.
I mean, I'm good when it comes to load and working on stuff. That's usually when I work the best.
Cool. And also, since it's not like we have to make the decision this moment, if you want to think about it, and when we meet up tomorrow, that
yeah, definitely just stew on it tonight, and then I'll come back tomorrow and be like, yeah, or be like,
especially if you've got some unknowns that if it's something that you can figure out, then it seems to me like that would be a what do you call it? A way to leave ourselves open to an opportunity, but not commit to something and then find out,
yeah, exactly.
What do you think?
So the picture I've just put into the chat, that's a shader. That's an Unreal shader.
Unreal.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
I mean, that's more like an 8-bit vibe, but still, if that exists,
then there's a possibility we'll find a shader that we need.
Yeah. Plus, I think I don't know if this is right or not, but I think shaders might just be like their own kind of separate thing.
Yeah, they're apart from like textures and model. It's like the best way to describe it would be like putting on a pair of glasses.
True. Yeah. I don't know if they're universal though. That's the thing. Like, I don't know if you can take a shader from Unity and if it'll just work in Unreal.
I think they might be, but don't quote me on that.
Yeah, see that I don't know that.
Yeah, so I guess it's just like figure it out. Like I said, I'm getting pretty tired at the moment, so I might have to die. I might have to dip here, so.
Well, I think we've probably figured out what we need to figure out for the moment, except for when are we meeting tomorrow?
Definitely. Me personally, I'm free actually whenever, but I know I'm busy after 6:30 p.m. So if we could work something out in the afternoon range, that would be best for me. Or you guys, if you want to just meet, I can just provide this stuff I was already talking about, and then I can just catch up with everybody over text chat. I just wouldn't be able to sit down and be over voice after 6:30.
Cool.
I'm pretty flexible myself, so.
Same here.
I'm flexible on the weekends.
I say if we're confirmed on an engine or whatever by tomorrow, I can start just getting a base as far as player movement, the multiplayer stuff, all that stuff hashed together.
Yeah, no matter what, I will have documentation ready to get a pointed visual style ready. Just to at least get started, get the ball rolling, see what we need to change. But we're getting away from. Okay, so time wise, what time? What time do we want to say for a meet?
What time do you need to make or to at least that you think you can get to a decision? You don't have to. I mean, if you're not sure by that point, that's okay. But what time do you think you can get to a decision on it, and also that people will be up and ready to actually do something?
Our documentation stuff, you mean?
Well, just no. As far as making the game, the engine. Do we need to wait until we have an engine decision before we push on to other sorts of things? I don't know.
Maybe not. I think
I don't think so. No.
Yeah. I think we could. If you guys are comfortable with it, the technical guys, we could. I might suggest we try. Not like don't burn yourself out. Don't like kill yourselves, but like maybe try to see if you can get a movement thing started on it. That might be a good foundation for like, even if you're trying it in one engine, then you could just be like, oh, okay, like I know that this engine wouldn't really work for what we're trying, and then we could just be like, oh, that also could help the deciding factor of it.
Although I think Unity might be the way we might want to go, because I mean, I know I wouldn't mind trying learning stuff with Unreal and stuff, but I know it's we also have other technical people here who whether it's Godot or Unity, it's those are roughly similar, and I think all the rest of our technical people would be more familiar with Unity.
Cool.
So I'm fine with sticking with Unity.
Okay. So yeah, for now we'll say Unity, and then if something changes, then we can deal with it.
Cool.
Sam, would you be okay with trying to see if you could just get like a basic movement thing going?
Yep.
Cool. I mean, like I said, I don't really know that kind of stuff, so tell me to pound sand if that's like an unrealistic ask for tomorrow. But,
I mean, I can get basic, like just with like a cube or a cube or cylinder or something like that. Just get basic first person movement with like that and probably the multiplayer part down.
Cool.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, whatever works for you, Joey. Like, we still need more time to like. I think like probably need like maybe a day or two more longer to figure everything out, and because like I know vaguely understanding music, I understand that it's probably also like having an art style and having like gameplay sort of figured out will greatly influence like what kind of music you want to write anyway. So that sort of works.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Has everybody seen what Joey's typing?
Yes.
Cool.
So yeah, we keep getting away from it.
When?
Tomorrow. I'm just gonna throw a time out there. You guys can tell me no. How's 2 p.m.?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good enough for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure we have something down, so it's like so we can, because I know somebody was like wanting to go to bed.
All right. Yep, we need to think about story and stuff like that if we're not doing technical tasks or art tasks or whatever.
Yeah,
And,
like I said, the work I'll do, it's especially because of the style we're doing. The concept of the work I have to do is obviously not going to be that intense. Oh, do we want to pick a team name and color and custom emoji before we?
Can we do that tomorrow?
Sounds good.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hold off on that.
All
right. Well, then let's call it an evening, and everybody should be thinking about story, because that's something that anybody could have something on that,
Yeah. Yeah, I'll have art stuff ready. I'll finish it tonight, but I'll throw it down tomorrow.
Cool.
In the meantime,
nice meeting everybody, and
yeah, it was a pleasure. In the meantime, everybody have sweet dreams and.
Yep, I'm probably gonna get some food and chill maybe for the rest of the night, and then just hit the ground running tomorrow.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Take care, guys.
Yep.
Good
See
night.
you. All right. Well, I guess that's it for now. I'm gonna probably end the stream here. I'll get off there and okay, so we got some ideas. So I'll probably end the stream here. Sorry we haven't actually shown anything interesting, really. Just been a lot of talk and stuff, but yeah, we got an interesting idea coming. I will probably be streaming tomorrow with a lot of the progress I'll be working on. And hopefully we'll get something going. But thank you all for joining. I hope this was interesting or informative or whatever and all. But yeah, thanks for coming and see you later. Bye.